In other words, your inner being is not an idea. We would call it an inner idea. It's an inner being, an inner beingness. Your inner being bees. Your inner being is consciousness who bees. Consciousness who is life, who is eternal, who bees. So this inner being has taken all of the expansion that you've offered it through the living of life and is not holding back ever like you may be. So when you're beating the drum of justification or defense or rationalization, well, I feel this way because that happened to me and it shouldn't have happened to me, and that was an injustice that should not have happened, and so I'm just going to stand here in my righteous indignation and join others in my protest against the government or in my protest against this absurd policy that has just happened at work. Do you know they gave us a bonus and then they took it back? It's just ridiculous that they're making all that money and they're not giving nearly enough of it to me, and I'm working so hard and I don't think they are. That righteous indignation is justified maybe, and maybe everybody in your company and beyond would agree with you, but your inner being isn't agreeing with you, and that's the only agreement that is ever important to you. Your inner being stays in a place of positive expectation. No, not positive expectation, because expectation implies it is something yet to come. In positive beingness, because your inner being bees there and does not deviate from it. But when you aren't up to speed with your inner being, then you feel the deviation, and that's what negative emotion. Light, slight, severe, strong, that's what negative emotion is. It's your indicator that you're not up to speed with your expansion. Now, negative emotion, we think it is such a wonderful thing, because negative emotion is your indication of two things. First, you're not up to speed, and you might say, well, just soon not know that. We say, no, really, you want to know that. It's like putting your hands on the hot stove. Oh, ouch, you say, ouch. Could you please just put Novocaine in my fingers so that that is not such a painful experience? And we say, not really a good idea, because you really want to know if you're touching a hot stove before it goes further than you want it to go, don't you? And so the negative emotion is the same thing. You want to be sensitive to it so that you can benefit from the guidance it is giving you. So negative emotion is telling you two things. It's telling you first that you're not up to speed, but it's telling you something else really, really important that we so want you to hear. It's telling you you have expanded, the bigger part of you has expanded beyond where you're practiced. Don't you like knowing that? I have expanded beyond what I have learned to allow. Well, you know what that means? If you've expanded beyond what you have learned to allow, that means there's some good times coming to you, because the deliciousness of life, the true essence of life, the part of life that you call exhilaration or adventure, the part of life that you call passion, the part of life that you climb mountains for, or that you get into new relationships for, the part of life that you were born for, the part of life that you love the most of all is that moving in the direction of the further expansion. And we really want you to hear us when we say moving in the direction of it, because moving in the direction of it is all that you're ever going to do, because you're never going to catch it. Oh. That doesn't seem right. I'm never going to catch up with who I am. Not really. Because there will always be more that will cause you to expand. And so if you can come to the place where you savor the problem as deliberately and deliciously as you savor the solution, now you're rocking and rolling. Because you can't have a solution without a problem, and you can't have expansion without asking, and you can't ask without contrast, and you can't be alive without that. You can't be here in this physical format without life causing you to know more clearly all day, every day, what you would prefer. So you got that, didn't you? Do you understand that? Can you hear us clearly? Do you understand that the vibration of a question and the vibration of an answer are different frequencies? But the answer is born from the question. Do you understand that the frequency, the vibrational frequency of a solution is different than the frequency of the problem? But they are tied together in this vibrational wave. In other words, they are equal parts of the same concept. It's why humans talk about duality. We don't follow that conversation too fully because it takes you off on all kinds of wild goose chases. But it is so nice to know that you are constantly expanding, and that everything you feel, no matter what, no matter what, no matter what, is about one thing and one thing only. It's about your personal, in this moment of the feeling, vibrational relationship with that expanded version. Sometimes over the years, Esther has said, as she's standing in a place not feeling so good, and as she's been listening to us long enough to know that the worse she feels, the better we feel, what's up with that? If you were really a non-physical entity that was worth its salt, you'd have empathy for me and you'd come over here and comfort me. And we say, that's the thing that you got to understand and accept and come to adore about your inner being. Your inner being takes the expansion and holds that place marker for you, so that you can come into vibrational frequency with it. That's what guidance system is. Esther would say from time to time, Abraham, I think you should come over here and complain with me, because you know I'm right. You know I'm justified in this complaint. And we say to Esther, we're not coming. Come over here. No, you come over here. Come over here. No, you come over here. And of course, through the years, she's discovered we never come. We never step out of the vortex in order to focus with anyone about anything that they don't want. That's not our job. Our job is step 2 of the process of creation. Step 1, that's your job, but it's not something you have to work very hard at. Life just brings it to you. Contrast causes you to know what you don't want, to know what you do want. So you're launching rockets all day, every day. Step 2, that's our job. Source energy, inner being, non-physical. We stand in the vibrational frequency of the furthest launch that you have offered. And we stand in vibrational alignment with the total package of that which you have expanded to. Through all that you've been living, that's where your inner being, that's where that which you call God stands. In utter knowing of who you are. Step 3 is your job, and it's what the art of allowing is all about. Step 3 is you got to find somehow, some way, thought by thought, subject by subject, day by day, moment by moment, to be in vibrational alignment with who you've become. And if you succeed at it, or if you're sort of succeeding at it, you thrive. You have tears of appreciation running down your face. If you don't accomplish it, then you have something less than that. But it's always there as guidance letting you know. Well, that's as clearly as we've ever spoken it, and you've received it as well as any group of non-believers could. Well, you see, you don't believe in your vortex in the way we do, because we're standing in it as the vibrational essence of it, and we have full knowledge of all that you've become. So as we stand in full knowledge of all that you have become, we don't fret for a moment about where you stand in the absence of anything you want, because we know it's only a vibration away. You say, oh, it's not just a vibration away, it's a manifestation away. It could be years. And we say, only if you're diligent about poking around where you are. In other words, there could be an instant manifestation. You could be vibrationally up to speed with who you really are now, because who you really are is a done deal. Vibrationally speaking, it's done. But you mostly don't do that because we love you very much. You are so hung up on what is. You've gotten so used to focusing your eyes and ears and fingertips and your nose and your tongue. Salty tears was good. You are so good at interpreting your physical life through your sensual senses that you are not as practiced at enjoying the vortex, because in the beginning the vortex isn't vivid to you like real life manifestation is. Look around this beautiful room. Ooh, cool. look around this beautiful room. In other words, there is so much to enjoy in an environment like this. You get to hear this beautiful voice, infinite intelligence, letting you know who you really are. How delicious is that, to hear that moving through the vibration of your eardrum and get to feel the fullness. You get to see one another in this beautiful room. You were out in the freeways and moving through the city. In other words, physical life experience in all of its manifested glory is so intoxicatingly attractive because you are interpreting it with so many of your senses. And we get it that when you come to a gathering where this man calls his wife Abraham, and she must be a sort of split personality because she refers to herself as we, points at the floor, insists it's a vortex, and tells you to get in it. In other words, there's a vortex. There's a vortex where who you really are is, and we know you look over there and you don't really see the vortex. Because it's a concept that we are painting for you, but it's a reality that you can vibrationally translate into immediate emotion. In other words, when you're in the vortex, you feel clear. When you're in the vortex, clarity is your experience. When you're in the vortex, you feel vital and alive. You feel love. Appreciation and passion are pouring through you when you're in the vortex. In other words, the vortex is a feeling place. It's a confirming place of the wholeness of all that you are. And if you like that feeling enough that you're willing to give up some of the reality that's more vivid, like car crashes and roadkill, well, we're just kidding, because we know there are a lot of things that are beautiful in your world, but there are some things in your world that aren't so beautiful that you still look at because you feel compelled to look at anything that is manifested because it is reality, and you think that because it is reality that it deserves your attention. And we say some of it does, but some of it doesn't. Don't let the fact that it's reality be the compelling reason that you're looking there instead of feeling your way into the vortex. And as you make the decision that you're going to spend less time focused upon what is, especially if some of what is isn't pleasing to you. And you know, it's funny, you don't just focus upon what is, you focus upon your imagination of what is going to become that you're not going to like even more. In other words, oh, it's bad now, but it could be so much worse. And so we just want to bring your attention to the fact that you're really good at the what isness, and even at using your imagination about the negative what isness. Why not use your desire to feel good as your reason to feel your way into the vortex? And then, this is the thing that we really want to emphasize. When you care about how you feel, your vortex will affect, it will cause, it will facilitate a manifestation that is seeable, hearable, smellable, tasteable, touchable. In other words, the manifestation hot on the heels of your alignment that you feel at first. So if you could just give up your need to see it before you believe it, and instead be willing to feel it and believe it before you see it.